Imagine this, you are interviewing for a web development job and they ask you to build the flag of France using just CSS. Hello, Cornel here. Depending on how you solve this, you can show your experience and your attention to details. Write a comment and let me know how you would do this. I will show you several ways, starting from what I would expect from a junior dev. Then I will show you more advanced techniques and we can learn a bunch of stuff. Let's get started. The flag of France has 3 colors, red, white and blue. So you could have 3 divs, one for each color. We might use grid layout for 3 separate panels, but that's not actually the flag of France, at least not since 1794. France's flag is actually blue, white or red, not red, white, blue. It's fine, we can just swap the divs. If I was hiring and you did this during an interview, I would conclude you are the kind to always find a solution. Maybe you won't always find the best solution, but it's quite nice to be able to solve any task coming your way. Personally, I don't like having extra elements in HTML unless we really have to, and my students know this too well. To that end, we could replace the blue and the red with pseudo elements. If you didn't know, pseudo elements are elements we don't actually have in HTML, but we can style them in CSS. In our case, we can use before and after for the side colors red, blue and red, not red and blue. Blue and red. In our case, we can use before and after for the side colors, blue and red. The middle color would be set on the element itself. To activate these pseudo elements, we need to set the content property to something. We can use an empty string. If you haven't done any computer programming and don't know what a string is, let me know if you would be interested in a series of videos where I would teach it to you. For now, you can just put 2 double quotes. That's like quadruple quotes. These pseudo elements are like children to the parent element, so they can be used in the grid. We can see now that the red is not in the correct position. It actually needs to be the last column. The simplest way would be to say it starts from the 3rd column up to the 4th, but that is not technically the last column. To make sure it's always on the last column, we would use -1 for the grid column end. For the start column, we say we don't really care as long it spans 1. That's as far as I would go with this solution. A better one, in my opinion, would be to use a gradient. Now, hold on, the French flag does not feature a gradient. That's true, but we won't actually draw a gradient. We will use the linear gradient function in a clever way. We can remove everything and start over. Here's the gradient. The linear gradient function has several parameters. The first parameter is the direction of the gradient. We can use words like to right because we want the gradient to go from left to right, but we can also use geometry with degrees, i.e. the deg unit. 0 degrees means bottom to up because CSS is weird sometimes. 90 degrees means left to... no. 90 degrees means left to right, -90 means right to left. I prefer using degrees because I'm a nerd. The next parameters are the colors. For each color, we put the color itself and the position in the gradient. That's the center of the color and the browser draws a gradient to the next color. But if there's no other color, it just fills the color as much as it can. So if we put the first color at 33%, that color starts from 0 to 33%. The second color is also at 33%, which means there's no actual gradient. The third color is at 67%, but being the same color as the second color, we don't see a gradient. Finally, the fourth color is also at 67%, so it switches fast from int and renders it to the end. Not to brag because I thought of it, but that's quite clever. Now there's a problem. The white column is slightly thicker. It's exactly 1% thicker than the other colors. We're engineers and we like things to be precise. We're engineers and we like things to be precise. We can try to use fractional numbers like 33.3% or 66.6. Even fewer people will notice we still have a wider column. Let me know if you understand which color is wider now. How about we just let the computer compute the exact value? We can use the calc function to precisely divide 100% by 3. This is the first third. The second third is 200% divided by 3. Still, this is not the flag of France. The French flag features these 3 colors with different shades. We're technical people, so we're going to search for the exact colors. I usually find them on Wikipedia. And yes, I look up flags on Wikipedia. It's often enough that I can say I do it usually. For the French flag and many others, we even have the hexadecimal codes. We just copy them and thank whoever put them there. More than just at job interviews, you need to pay attention to the exact shades of colors, especially if you work for a company that has a strong visual identity. Facebook designers like to use this exact shade of blue. YouTube is a bad example because they use bright red. There's all sorts of information on Wikipedia about flags. Like, Did you know that different flags have different proportions? Switzerland's flag is square, Latvia's flag is 1/2, which means it's twice as wide as it is tall. Nepal's flag is mental. France's flag is 2/3. It's like the height is 2 parts and the width is 3 parts. We can force this using the aspect ratio property. It needs the width, then the height separated by a slash. We can also use a single number, which would be the result of the division. In this case, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. I prefer the slash syntax, it's much clearer. With this, no matter how big the flag gets, the aspect ratio will be correct. Now that's quite a fancy way to draw the French flag, and I would very much approve of it. Yeah, because I built it. But we can go further. France is not the only country featuring 3 vertical stripes on their flag. We can put the colors as custom properties, aka variables. If we need to draw another flag, we would just reuse this class and just change the custom properties. Doing something like this during an interview, you prove that you can solve problems in a way that can later be extended. Quite a valuable thing if you ask me. Let's see what else we can do. Not all flags feature 3 vertical color bands. We can have the angle in a custom property to support horizontal bands and more. Yeah, this is a flag. Moreover, the bands are not always equal. We can put the switch points as variables as well. Now we can support all sorts of different flags. Basically anything that has 2 or 3 bands of colors. Maybe if they have some sort of symbol, we can put it as a separate element. To be fair, I had a lot more to think about this task than you would have during a job interview, where you're also kind of nervous. I hope this helped you get a sense of how you could tackle these kinds of problems. Once you get hired, nobody will ask you to draw flags in CSS. Some formats are better, SVG, but interviewers may appreciate your attention to details and your abstract thinking. You could search for the easiest solution, or you could try to think of ways to make your code future-proof. One sounds better than the other, but both are actually valid. It's even better if you can think of multiple solutions to the tasks you get, then do the one that works best in your particular case. If you just need to deliver something quick, do the quickest solution. But if you work on a longer project and you notice your client keeps coming up with a new request, maybe it's worth spending more time on future-proof solutions. And that was my first video in English. If you liked it, press all the magic buttons like subscribe, the bell, all that. You can also press the comment button, but you need to type a comment first. Maybe tell me what you think of the video and my over-engineered flag. For now, thank you for watching. Bye bye.